In today's video, let's talk all about the different types of podcast marketing that are out there and which ones are going to benefit you so you can get more ears on your podcast. That's all coming up next. Hey there, podcaster. My name is the Shannon, radio broadcaster, podcaster, and podcast producer. And today's video is brought to you by my 6 Clever Ways to Monetize a Podcast ebook. The link for that book is down in the description of this particular video, so make sure you go give it a look and check it out. If you're ever thinking about starting a podcast and monetizing off it, or maybe you are getting serious about the monetization process, this book will definitely help you out. There are tons of pieces of information that are out there, but I will share with you what I have learned from my years of being in radio and how it directly applies to podcasting when it comes to marketing your podcast. It's all down in the description below in a link. Go ahead and check it out and make sure you check for coupon codes. So in today's video, we are talking about the different types of podcast marketing that are out there. And I haven't decided yet, but this particular video, or maybe this video, will turn into a series of videos that you will see in the coming days or weeks. I haven't decided yet, but I've decided that I want to go ahead and break this down as best as I can for you when it comes down to podcast marketing or just marketing in general. Now, the overall goal of this particular series of videos is to give the podcaster a clear sense of what they should be looking for when they're trying to market a podcast. And what I see a lot from the chatter online, on Facebook and on Twitter, and podcasters wanting to get ears on their podcasts, is that they say, I want to start spending some money. I want to start getting people to start listening to my podcast. I want to get more subscribers. And of course, that is the goal. That is the goal for all of us. We all want to get more subscribers. We want to get more people who will come into our universe or our orbit. But if you're going to do that, you're going to have to start utilizing different terms. You're going to have to start utilizing marketing terms, and you're going to have to jump into the marketing space, and you're going to have to learn that side of the industry, the marketing industry, because your podcast is a great vehicle to disseminate a message. But when it comes down to the marketing, you have to understand the steps and the technicalities and the philosophies that come with marketing your podcast. So what I intend to do is to try to clarify and hopefully give you a little more knowledge on what you need to do as a podcaster. If you are serious about the podcasting game, you're going to have to start stepping up your game. You're going to have to start spending money. You're going to have to get tools in order to get more ears on your podcast. I know there are people out there that will say, well, you don't have to spend the money to do this and that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when I was in your position and I said I didn't have to spend money, I ended up having to spend money to market the things that I wanted to do. Some things don't cost money, other things do cost money. You're just going to have to bite the bullet eventually on some pieces of your marketing in order to get the ears onto your podcast, all right? So let's start first with the goal of your podcast. And I think this is the important thing that most podcasters need to realize. They need to realize, what is the goal of their podcast? Have they defined their goal? What is the clear definition of your podcast? Is it to get more subscribers, or is it to monetize your podcast? The thing that I hear most from podcasters out there is that they say they just want to get more subscribers. But what happens when they actually get a bunch of subscribers? They don't know what to do with them. They don't realize that the power of their podcast, or the power of their own word, has a direct influence on the power or their listener. Their listener will do just about anything that the podcaster says if the podcaster says it. So this is where we come into marketing, and we start developing the ideas of getting leads or getting some type of marketing or idea out there so that someone can maybe purchase something from us, opt into something from us, or even subscribe from us, all right? So these are things that you have to start thinking about. So first, have you identified your goal? What is your goal? Do you just want to get subscribers? Is that it? So here's where I'm going to tell you, the podcaster, where you need to be shifting your thinking. Your thinking should be, yes, I need to get more subscribers, and you should be playing the game of, hey, hit the subscribe button in Apple, iTunes, or wherever you listen to your podcast, but you have to also start thinking about pulling them into your universe in something we would call your funnel, or your marketing funnel. And your marketing funnel typically starts with an email marketing funnel, an email service provider. I'm not talking about Gmail, and I'm not talking about Yahoo. I'm talking about a legit email service provider that can disseminate a message at bulk without coming off as spammy. I have a video that is up here that talks about email marketing, and I've discussed it very briefly, but I'll try to break it down a little more for you right here, okay? One thing you have to understand as a podcaster is that you don't own the subscriptions that come through Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. You don't own those subscriptions. You don't know their data, their details. And this is where it comes down to collecting data, okay? I know there's some podcasters that don't want to collect data, and there are some podcasters who want to collect data. The more data that you collect on your audience or your listener, the more chances that you have to convert them into a loyal fan, all right? This is something that is very important. We have to remember that we're trying to convert them into loyal fans. The data that is collected on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and everything is Apple's or any other platform's data. If you pull someone into your universe and collect their email address and their name and their first and their last name and their email address and maybe sometimes even a phone number, and you're using a program, say like MailChimp or ConvertKit, or maybe if you're a little more high-end, you're using Infusionsoft, you now own that data. You own the data as long as you are not sharing it with anyone else. You are collecting that data for your own use so that you can leverage and start marketing to those particular listeners, okay? So utilizing a program like MailChimp, that's probably the best one that I know. There's MailChimp, there's a ton of them out there that you can use, but you need to pull them into your universe so you can own the data, own their list. And the reason why I bring that up is because you don't own Facebook data, you don't own Twitter data, you don't own those accounts. What happens if tomorrow that Twitter or Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram all decide to go away and you lose all of your followers? You should be harvesting an email list so you can maintain contact with those listeners in case any platform shuts down. This way you have clear and direct communication with your audience. That is very, very important. So the first thing that I want you to do right now is I want you to define your goal. I want you to make it the ultimate goal of your podcast. What is it that you want your podcast to do? How do you want to see your podcast thriving in, say, a year from now? I want you to write this down right now and ask yourself, where do I see my podcast in a year? Write this down or leave a comment down in the section below, and we will go ahead and I'll try and get back to you, and we'll see where you are in the process. In the next video, I want to talk about the different styles of marketing so that we can lead into disseminating your message and mushrooming it out so that you can get more ears on your podcast to get more people into your universe. If you like this video, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up, and of course hit the subscribe button and the little bell button and get notified whenever I drop a video just like this one. So coming up on the next video, you will be seeing the different styles of marketing and how they may be beneficial to you. So I'll see you on the next video.